TUYU is one of those Japanese bands that, for whatever reason, have lyrics that makes you question about your own life while having melodies you can bang your head to, so you can break down crying and dancing at the same time. But what sets this band apart from others is that their songs focuses more on dark themes, such as failures and losing one's will to live. This band is the epitome of depression and self-hatred. With their incomprehensible naming sense, have songs that can send you into an emotional journey and release, as they sing songs about the unspoken struggles that nobody dares talk about, that you may painfully relate to. But first, what is TUYU? Well, you can search them up on YouTube or Google right now, and whichever you do, you may end up in their YouTube channel. But TUYU wasn't always TUYU, if you get what I mean. In fact, the same channel used to belong to only one person, that being Pusu, the music producer and guitarist responsible for creating those insane riffs we hear from their songs. It all started when he discovered his passion for guitar in the first year of high school, and apparently, according to the wiki, he practiced for 20 hours a day. I don't know if I should believe that or not. And so he dropped out of high school at 16. Then 2 years later, at 2012, he began his career as a Vocaloid producer under the alias of Zips, progressing as an otaite in 2014, having a name change to Pusu and formed a duet unit with another otaite in 2015, and then finally, on 2019, the birth of the legendary band TUYU marked a historic moment in the Japanese scene, with two other members, Rei being the vocalist and Miro being the pianist, with their first song, It's Raining After All, being a massive success, with currently having 12 million views, then following up with albums and songs that made them the band they are today. So if you haven't heard of any of their songs, then let's try a little experiment. I'll need you, yes you, to do something. So listen very carefully. I want you to pause this video, open up another tab, search up either of these songs, and then take a listen to it. However, listen to it without checking the lyrics or the music video for the first minute of the song. And then after a minute, you can take a look and see if there's any difference with your listening experience. You can go pause the video and go ahead, and then come back. I'll be giving you 3 seconds. Welcome back. So, did you notice the massive difference with your listening experience? Without knowing the lyrics of the song, you'd probably think that this is upbeat and happy. But the moment you figure out what the song is about, the music's vibe makes a 180. From happy to depressing, which, once again, I'll say is common in Japanese songs, compared to sad Western songs, which is slow, gloomy, and gives more of a vibe that says, I'm sad and depressed, and I must wallow in my misery. While Japanese songs gives more of a feeling like I'm trying to sound okay, but deep inside I'm not really okay. So please, can someone hear my screams for help? Which I think is a unique but effective approach of trying to convey the emotions of the song by having this kind of contrast. And just from my observation, I believe this is due to the Japanese culture of perfectionism. Many Japanese people struggle to meet the standard, and in an environment where perfectionism is the norm, showing weakness may lead to being looked down upon. Consequently, they often conceal their pain behind a smile, which is then reflected in these types of Japanese songs, which maintain an upbeat musical tone while expressing dark and depressing lyrics. And if you think about it, there's something poetic about us, non-Japanese people, not understanding a single word when we first listen to these songs. Because at first, we think that everything's okay, happy and joyous, and everything's fine. But it only takes an inspection to see that something is wrong. In this case, the lyrics of the song, much like how a Japanese person seems to display the perfect life, the perfect country, the perfect everything in the eyes of foreigners. In reality, it's all a facade to maintain appearances, their struggles being projected into the structure of their songs. I'm not saying every Japanese people is like that though. But setting aside technical details, I mentioned the irony of the contrast between the lyrics and the music of Japanese songs, because there's something deeper to this concept. It taps into the profound human emotions evoked by these kind of music, a sentiment that is even more prevalent in TUYU songs, with themes often centered around child failure. Their music has the power to open up wounds you didn't know you even had. Through listening to their songs, you might experience an intense awakening called catharsis. First of all, what is catharsis? Well, catharsis is a term used in psychology, which refers to the powerful emotional release of all those pent-up negative emotions and bottled-up feelings, which may lead to emotional relief. Ever been on edge and then someone asked if you're okay, and then you just broke down, vented, and felt relief? That's basically what it is. And for me, personally, I experienced this phenomenon through listening to the songs, as I felt some sort of, let's say, validation and emotional release with the themes portrayed into their songs, like failures, depression, loneliness, and losing your will to live. Let's take an example and analyze TUYU's most popular song, Compared Child, which is mainly about a person being overshadowed by their own sibling or maybe another person. When you listen to it, the song begins calmly and a little upbeat, as the lyrics depicts the character's self-loathing, saying she keeps failing and her own failure hurts her so. But as it gradually progresses into the chorus of the song, the music gets a little more chaotic, but not too overwhelming. And so it goes back to being calm once it transitions back into the second verse of the song, and so it repeats. But this was actually all leading up to the finale of the song, as everything about it gets much more intense as the final chorus approaches. The animation getting more chaotic, the instrumentals getting more extreme as the singer screams her heart out. With the painful lyrics, I know that my efforts won't go rewarded even until the end. And as if she accepts defeat, the lyrics continue on. If only I knew right from the start that I'd come to hate you. Venting out every negative emotion she has with that single line. But this is where emotional relief comes into play. Just as her self-loathing reaches at an all-time high, the song acknowledges all her feelings as the song says, "So remember this, and don't you forget it anymore. I actually love you so much." Which the song basically tells not only her, but we, the listeners, are good enough. It's as if the song speaks directly to us, and it feels like it knows the struggles we had deep within. Struggles that we didn't even knew we had because we refused to talk about it because we're afraid of invalidation and buried it deep within until we eventually forget that we have those kinds of problems and struggles in the first place. This song not only unearths those feelings, but it also validates it by drawing parallels with the process of bottling up emotions and hiding the pain with fake happiness. Hence, the calm and upbeat verse of the song, until those emotions are too much to handle and we blow up. Hence, the very chaotic chorus of the song, which is why I believe that listening to TUYU's songs are a form of catharsis itself. It brings out those negative feelings as if it encourages you to cry along with a character portrayed in the song's music video. But the magic of TUYU's songs doesn't stop there. What if I told you that the person's emotional connection to their songs is actually dependent on their own past experiences? A quick scroll to the comment section of the song and you'll see different interpretations for it. Most are in Japanese, so it's a pain to translate them one by one. But there are two main leading interpretations for the song. First is, of course, the original interpretation wherein you compare yourself to other people. In this case, your sibling as your effort is being overshadowed by their success. Another interpretation is when other people, such as your parents, compare you to your sibling saying, "Oh, why can't you be like your sister? She's so much better at everything you do, so why not be like her?" But the interpretation I resonate with the most is that the song was actually referring to the pain of comparing yourself to your own ideal self, own expectations you haven't met, and not being able to be the person you promised other people you would be, suffering from your own inadequacy because you keep telling yourself you're better than this, which is evident from that one line on the song, "I'm alive in spite of it all." I can't bring home any good results, yet I'm still alive. As if she's saying, what good is my life if I can't even prove anything to myself? But the other person you see in the music video is actually the representation of your ideal self. Hence the lyrics, from parallel lines we cross our path, because that ideal self is someone you can never reach. But somehow, against all odds, that ideal self has come to tell you you're good enough, and you're not as bad as you say that you are. That's why the lyrics said she's making assumptions because she can't see anything, meaning she can't even see her own achievements because she was blinded by her expectations, downplaying everything she ever did, and that she's actually fine as she is. She just fails to see it. So ultimately, this interpretation is all about learning to forgive yourself. And I guess there's one thing that confirms this interpretation. At the very end of the music video, you can see the original self and the ideal self holding hands together. But a few seconds later, it was revealed that she was actually holding her own hand, meaning all this time she was actually having an intense inner conflict. But in the end, she made peace with herself, therefore finally making her whole. And that's the magic of TUYU songs. To a certain extent, it feels like the song is personalized for each listener, like a mirror that shows us our deepest and darkest hidden wounds, allowing us to release all those bottled up negative emotions through catharsis. But I wonder, which of the interpretations do you resonate with the most? Is it the same with mine, or are you being compared by your own sibling? Or maybe you have your own interpretation? Do let me know with a comment. But regardless of whatever interpretation you may resonate with, it's clear that TUYU's songs effectively delves into depressing themes that can bring you to tears. Compared Child is just one example of their songs that can evoke such emotions. There's also Goodbye to Rock You, which is about being untalented. Even Tears Withered, addressing the struggles of not having dreams or ambitions. Loser Girl, which is about trying hard but still not meeting your goals. And a lot more. It's very interesting to see how these themes are incorporated to their music, especially since child failure is a theme that's not commonly talked about. I mean, think back to your younger days and ask yourself, were the hardships and struggles you experienced as a child or as a teen been validated by those who were older around you? Chances are you were simply told to just grow up and that you'll get over it. It's as if the feelings you have as a child are invalid because you're too simply young to have those kind of problems. But the existence of these kinds of songs are a proof that young people have their own struggles too. And those same children grow up having a false sense understanding of their own emotions and experiences. And so they find solace and validation with the music like TUYU's songs, being able to release as if their music themselves are some sort of therapy. And that alone is why I love their music, aside from the fact that the songs themselves are absolute bangers. So if you haven't already, then do check them out and take a listen to the songs. And I'm sure one of their songs would resonate with you the same Compared Child did with me. But hey, I have another video for you here, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. But that's it for this one, and I'll see you there.